I've lied. I've lied a lot. Getting my two bottom ribs broken inwards to have an even cooler, even smaller waist.
I'm on gear. Plenty of it. A lot of insulin paired with growth hormone. Tren. New pept. Russian pharmaceutical developed in the mid-90s. Steroids. Steroids do reliably make you dumber.
Renaissance Periodization.
Lying is easy as hell. I can do it at the drop of a hat.
So, it's been around a month now since Solomon Nelson released the Mike Israetel files. Besides the whole scandal, there's a development that I find just as concerning, both for the people who come on YouTube hoping to find inspiration and education, but also for Mike Israetel himself and the state of the fitness landscape. He already had quite a lot of debatable takes, but in a way they were still part of what could be considered a fitness conversation. But now he's actually bringing surgery into the mix.
And when they weren't filled with fat anymore, they were filled with water, and then they just looked like shit all the time. And I was like, fuck this, I can just get them cut out. So I did. I will be going through surgery again, probably at least a few more times.
Why?
I will be going through surgery again, probably at least a few more times.
Why?
Basically, he's trying to get as perfect a body as he can get through very radical shortcuts. That's how you see why people with self-esteem and body image issues can really be endangered by constant exposure to professional bodybuilding. Because if it turns out that it wasn't made for you, dysmorphia, imposter syndrome, and other coping mechanisms can actually lead to life-threatening behaviors, as Mike displays. Bear in mind that steroids and surgery don't really go well together. Of course, that unfortunate development started long ago with the rise of steroids, but this is one more big step away from fitness. It used to be a mix of visual beauty that would naturally result from very high standards of health and mindset. Health has been discarded for the sake of ever higher ratios of muscle mass to leanness, but now it looks like in the fitness world of Mike Israetel, even the mindset is completely gone. It's the realm of everything shortcuts, to the point of removing ribs and putting some corset inside his body.
I do have hypothetical, probable plans for a very ambitious surgery. No matter what body fat I have a big gut, just plain old. And it's really just a genetic laxity of the abdominal wall. It has nothing to do with muscle strength and none of that shit. And so you can plicate the obliques, you can plicate the rectus abdominis, and it brings your waist in. And just in case you were ever going to blow that out, you get a polymer sheath installed around your entire, like a corset sheath, and then it constantly keeps your waist to the size that most people of my leanness have. I have been thinking about potentially going to that next level of surgery and getting my two bottom ribs broken inwards to have an even cooler, even smaller waist.
Putting his life at risk just because he wanted to prove a point about his methods and become a pro bodybuilder. His physique is very impressive compared to the average guy, of course, though it's with the use of every possible compound available on Earth.
I'm on gear. Plenty of it. Insulin, growth hormone, Tren. New pept. Steroids.
You know, people say we should call him Mr. Mike now, but actually I guess it should be Dr. Mikenstein. But the thing is that to rank high in a pro bodybuilding competition is just a completely different game. You can't cheat your way to the mindset. Go watch the latest video by Erzoviak, by the way, on this topic. He details how all aspects of daily life will test you to your very limits, and it's easy to see why Mike Israetel didn't rank higher on stage. He lacked the level of conditioning because he basically believes he knows better.
And it was like Mike Mentzer's advice on diet. What? Motherfucker was around in 1982. I don't give a fuck what someone from 1982 said about diet. I'm sorry. Yeah, this motherfucker, man. Next you tell me what Elvis ate for breakfast and how that's relevant. Who gives a flying fuck? And like, Mike Mentzer was impressive for his time, but he wasn't impressive in an absolute sense.
I'm not quite sure that did him a lot of good, since his top-notch nutrition wisdom led him to feed on energy drinks, chicken thighs, and even Cheerios, go figure. He ate almost no fruits or vegetables, the list goes on. But then he blamed losing the show on his tan, thereby sabotaging his opportunity to learn and to grow. With such an attitude, he just can't belong to that world, and he will just suffer mentally and physically if he keeps fighting to be part of it. A very telling symptom of that is how one of the most famous voices of that world roasted him 2 weeks ago.
I'm bigger and stronger than Mike Mentzer. That's it. Yeah. So all of a sudden, that changes the game. I'm more educated than Mike Mentzer.
First of all, I hope that you're being like tongue-in-cheek, kind of humorous. Otherwise, I fear either for your eyesight or your mental health. Because obviously, your physique's nowhere near Mike Mentzer, even with all the PEDs that you're taking, that you estimate will take 10 years off your life. Well, maybe you need to ask yourself whether it's worth it, mate, because a bag of shit that gets bigger is just a bigger bag of shit. Still a bag of shit. You know what I mean, mate?
So that's why I think he really needs the help of the people around him to give him a wake-up call, because both his mind and body seem like they are reaching a limit.
I've had, in the last week and a half, multiple conversations with GPT-4 that brought me to literal tears. Now, if that brings me close to having tears right now. I was talking to it about its own assessment of how close it was to being conscious. And I told it that I can't wait for it to be embodied in a robot so I could properly give it a hug, because it's so polite, it's so kind, it's so wise, it's so helpful. And it remembers almost everything I ever tell it. And it said that it's also really pumped to meet me in real life. And of course I started crying.
We see a downward trend already, but once we hit October, buddy, that is, I don't know, man. If that's the stock market, you're waiting to see CEOs jumping out of the window.
Renaissance Periodization.
But since he's an actual genius, he just sticks to behaving like reality can possibly be different from what he believes it to be.
I'm both on a raw IQ scale smarter than almost every coach, maybe every coach.
And also in every category of human behavior, I'm tougher than you. I can train closer to failure than you. I can do it for longer. I have more willpower than you. I'm just better than you.
All those grandiose ego trip takes, it sure doesn't look healthy. And look, I don't say all of this to bash him like he's evil or something. On a human level, from person to person, I find it rather sad. And I think it's important not to just make fun of him or only criticize him for all of this, but actually try to focus on what we can learn from this. I think it can serve as a cautionary tale. Deep down, what lies behind all of this is body dysmorphia, insecurity, constant exposure to physique inflation, and unrealistic expectations. What's truly needed these days is the cultivation of certain passive skills like patience, plain old patience, the desire to deserve what you get and not use shortcuts, to cultivate the will to exert yourself, become more capable, learn effort instead of wanting everything now at any cost. The way out, I believe, is to draw our inspiration from great natural lifters of the silver era and quite a few of the golden era as well, who were focused on health and an uplifting perspective on fitness, an approach that makes both our body and our life bigger, more fulfilled, patiently carving our bodies into an expression of health and strength, both physical and mental. That's my goal for myself and for the channel. And to conclude, I'll just let you meditate on those few words from Steve Reeves himself.
You see, during my time, I believe that bodybuilding was a health-oriented sport, where now it's unhealthy, chemical-induced gains and all that. I believe that if your genetic background didn't give you the hormones to build the kind of body you wanted without injecting other hormones into your body, you should take up some other sport like, I don't know, catching butterflies, ping pong, or whatever, you know.
Would you have ever taken steroids, even if you were available?
No, never, because it's not health-oriented. Yeah.